Oh, hello. My name is Mara, and welcome to Books Like Whoa. All right, guys, let us today dive into all of the damage that I did at Christmas. So today is a very big haul, and that is because, well, first of all, it's over a longer time period than usually my hauls are. But this includes a lot of things from Christmas, both things that I received as gifts, also just the fact that around Christmas, there are a lot of price drops going on and a lot of deals happening. So things that I've had my eye on all of a sudden, like, you know, are in a buy two, get one free kind of thing or whatever, or I have points or all these things. So because of that, this is gonna be a big haul and I'm gonna break it up into different categories. I think actually, you know what? We're gonna start with some ARCs that I've received from publishers and we'll go from there. First up, actually, these are not ARCs. These are just first books or ARCs that I'm gonna be getting in the future. So I got 2 books from HarperCollins, and actually I really appreciate the gal I was working with because she had reached out about a different book that I was like, I don't know that that's quite my taste, but you know, appreciate it. Let me know if there's anything else you have in mind. And she nailed it with her 2 recommendations of things that she thought that I would like. So first, she pitched the new Talia Hibbert book to me, which is coming out this June, but she wanted to give me the first Talia Hibbert book, which is Get a Life Chloe Brown, which I have heard basically nothing but great things about. I really like Talia Hibbert's self-published stuff, so it was so nice of her to send me the first book so that I can read this before the second one comes out. And then I had never heard of this. It's called Rule of Capture by Christopher Brown, and I'm gonna call this like urban fantasy mystery. So basically I think it's like near future dystopia with some like climate change kind of stuff, and then there's a detective who is solving like kind of a private eye kind of thing. And the description of this very much reminded me of some of the descriptions of like a Kate Daniels book or a Dresden Files book, which is my jam. Like I love a future, like a fantasy or sci-fi world with a detective element. That sounds like stuff I will like. So I'm gonna read this first one, and then the second one is also coming out soon. But that was very sweet of her to send me first couple in a series for me to enjoy. And similarly, a gentleman from Minotaur Books reached out to me about Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier, which is coming out in April. And the reason that I was gonna say yes to this is that I'd heard really good things about Jar of Hearts, which came out I think either last year or the year before. I'd heard really good things about that, and he was kind enough to send me this one and the arc of the one that's coming out in April. So Jennifer Hillier is a like thriller writer, and they tend to be kind of domestic thrillers, but with like a little bit of a twist. Like they don't seem to all just be ripoffs of Gone Girl. No offense, Gone Girl is great. I get why people love it, but that kind of domestic thriller is not as appealing to me at this point. But these seem to be like a different type, and like I said, I've heard really good things about this author, so I've she's been on my radar to try. So I'm excited to dip into both of these. So thank you to Minotaur Books for those. Okay, next let's go to books that either came out recently and that's why I bought them, or there was either a price drop, a sale, I had points. Like there was some reason why around the Christmas time, these were the books I was getting. So in terms of books that came out recently, well, actually this first one, I'm not sure. Somehow the 4th volume of MONSTRESS came out without me being fully aware of it until I saw my friend Shoshana hauling it, and I was like, girl, what? There was a 4th one that came out? How did I miss that? So I immediately picked this up, and it was actually on a good price drop with a coupon. So that was even better. I think I got this for like $9. So I had that. A cool book from the Washington Post was the Mueller Report Illustrated. And I got this because, so I am somebody when like these big political scandals happen, I do my very best to go ahead and read the original report or findings for myself so that when people try to say things that are not true about what that report did or didn't find, I know, like I say that I actually read it for myself. And I have been stalling out with the Mueller report. Like it should be juicier than it is. It's just not. Whatever. I've been listening to it on audio very slowly, and I was like, you know what? I think it's time to just give up on that. So I was very thankful that they put out sort of like a summary in graphic novel form. I just thought this was a cool idea. Acknowledge that this will therefore be a biased version of it, but I've, feel like I've gotten at least a good flavor of the report via audio. So that came out in December. And then A Madness of Sunshine by Nalini Singh was a pre-order that came in for me. I've already read and loved this. I put it in my best mystery thriller book category of the year. Really, really good. So those were 3 that came out recently. Notable price drops included The 3 Escapes of Hannah Arendt, A Tyranny of Truth by Ken Krimstein. And this is a graphic novel of the 3 different times that Hannah Arendt escaped the Nazis. And I just thought that this would be a really cool version of a biography. I tend to really like graphic novel versions of biographies. Like, I love John Lewis's autobiography in graphic novel form. So I just thought this would be a cool way to at least get a part of Hannah Arendt's story. So I got this for like $9, I think. There was a big price drop on it. Similarly, for about $9, I got Spend the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. And I decided to get this because of the price drop. And I'd been curious about this. So this is a YA fantasy that is described as Mulan meets Project Runway. That just sounds really intriguing to me. So I'm totally willing to give this one a shot, even though, I don't know, I've seen pretty good reviews. I've seen a few people who didn't like it. I don't know. We'll see how I do with it. But I just felt like for that price, I thought it was a cool enough premise to go for it. And then The Light Brigade by Cameron Hurley. This is a military sci-fi kind of book, and it did have a little bit of a price drop, so it was on my wish list and I went ahead and picked that up. So those were all price drops. And then the rest of these are ones that I either got in a buy one get one kind of situation or with points. So first I got The Western Wind by Samantha Harvey. This is the first winner of the Staunch Prize, I believe is what it's called. And it is a prize for mysteries where there is no violence against women. And I think there's been some controversy around that as a project, but I liked what I heard one of the founders saying, which was the reason this kind of prize exists is the same reason why a women's literary prize exists. It doesn't mean that any books written by men or non-binary people are garbage. It just means that there is a need to elevate women's voices in literary fiction prizes because sometimes they are left out. And it's the same kind of posture of this, of like, it doesn't mean that there can never be a crime book where there is violence against women. It's just that there is so much violence against women and so much just sort of like kind of just creepy violence against women. It's almost like a lazy default in crime fiction, that this is wanting to celebrate books where that's not what happens. And it doesn't mean that it can never be done or done well. It's just this is trying to highlight a different type of book. And I really respected that. I think there was some controversy around it, but I thought that that was a really thoughtful way to kind of talk about that. So I'm interested to try this. I was also just interested in the description, which is basically like a medieval historical mystery about somebody who might have drowned but might not have not. And it's like, I think a priest in like the 1400s investigating it. So I just, I like historical crime fiction as well. So I thought that that sounded good even beyond liking the kind of project of the prize. So I got that. I got John le Carre's Agent Running in the Field, which is his latest book. And apparently it's very responsive to sort of like the tone of our times. And I've never read a John le Carre, and I've always been kind of intrigued by him. Like, he does sort of the spy thriller thing. He's like a master of that genre, a classic of that genre. So yeah, I'd heard good things about this book in particular, and I've always wanted to try him. So I picked this one up. I also picked up Who Fears Death by Nnedi Okorafor, which I believe is the first novel she ever published. And, I've liked things from Nnedi Okorafor, like some better than others, but I always find her an interesting author who has like cool setups to her worlds and really compelling characters. So I don't know, like this one I think doesn't have as high of ratings as some of her other stuff just because it is a first novel. So I'm sure there'll be some problems that first novels often have, but I always like her writing and her project. So I wanted to go, try to be a Nnedi Okorafor completist and go ahead and pick this one up. I also got The Institute by Stephen King. And the reason I let myself get this is because I unhauled a different Stephen King. I can't remember if you guys have seen that yet, but I kind of made because this actually sounds really interesting to me. And the one that I unhauled, I just had a moment of honesty with myself of like, I just don't think you're ever actually going to read that. So this sounds really interesting to me. It's his latest one. It's been getting good reviews. It's not been as hyped, so that does make me wonder, but at the same time, Stephen King books are always just sort of like ubiquitously hyped, so maybe it's just hard to tell. I'm intrigued by this one. It's very politically like to our moment relevant. So yeah, I think this will be interesting. And then last and most geekily, I got The Story of Classic Crime in 100 Books, which was edited by Martin Edwards. So something that I've been building up recently in my collection are books about genres that I really love. And I've been acquiring slowly a few different ones about mystery. And this is one that I had seen really well recommended. And also I just love, this is the Poison Pen Press / the British Crime Library Press. I really love what they do, so I'm always happy to kind of support them. And I trust that this will be a really interesting book, even if not all the books in it are to my taste. So those were all of my price drops and points acquisitions around Christmas time. Okay, so now moving into the true Christmas of it all. So things that I actually received as gifts for Christmas, or I had a gift card that I directly applied that I got from Christmas. So first I want to mention some Bookish related swag I received. So my friend Bethany at Beautifully lovely Bookish Bethany sent me this super cute Jane Austen mug that has lots of quotes from her, and I just love the aesthetics of this. I think it's just so pretty. I've got this prominently on my little coffee mug shelf because it just makes me happy. And she also, to go with it, got me some Agatha Christie tea. Isn't that hilarious? I love this. So it's Earl Grey tea. I just thought that was so cute. And again, proving that my friends just know my brand. My friend Leanna from Leanna's Library got me this Penguin Books tote for the body in the library from Agatha Christie. What she didn't know was that I already had that on my ideas wish list on Amazon. So my mom also got it for me. I'm so predictable. It's so easy to get me a present. But I love both of these, and it's so, I mean, it's useful. Like, I will use both of these happily. I don't want to take the tags off because they make me so happy. I don't know. I'm going to have to save the tags. But I thought that was incredibly thoughtful of Leanna, and then my mom just knowing me and what was going to make me happy. So I have 2 of those. And then I guess to round out my BookTube friends gift, my friend Amanda at the Naughty Librarian found 3 entries in the Bantam faux leather editions of these Agatha Christie books. If you watch my channel, you know that I collect these, and she so sweetly saw these and knew that I would enjoy having them. It was just so thoughtful. So I really appreciate that as well. Basically what I'm saying is my BookTube friends are better than your BookTube friends, and I won't hear otherwise. I love gifts that are thoughtful, like that I can tell somebody really, either they gave me something that they love and they think I will love, or they gave me something very specific to me, and I just felt like this was really thoughtful. So I really appreciate that. Then other bookish gifts I received. So one of my very best friends who lives here in Nashville gave me a gift card to our favorite local independent bookstore, and I used it to buy The Chestnut Man by Soren Sveistrom. My theory around gift cards is that they should be used either something you wouldn't normally buy for yourself or something you wouldn't normally treat yourself to. And this is a situation where I wouldn't normally pick this one up in physical form, but I've been intrigued by it and I just decided to go for it. Why not? So I hit myself with it. I got this with that gift card. So I appreciate, like, one of the biggest gifts you can give to a book nerd is the gift of shopping. So that was great. Similarly, my boss knows I'm a big fat book geek. So she gave me a gift card to Amazon to buy what I wanted. And this is something that I would not normally treat myself to because it was quite an expensive book, but it is this beautiful coffee table book called The Hooded Gunman, An Illustrated History of Colin's Crime Club by John Curran. And I've actually already read this one. I would say that the information in this is good, but not great, but I do love all of these beautiful illustrations of the different crime club covers over the years. If you watch this channel, you know that I collect the Agatha Christie Colin's Crime Club facsimile editions. So it was just cool to have the full book of them. So this is definitely a treat that I've been enjoying flipping through. And then I got a few things from my mom, one of which really makes me laugh, so we'll get there. So first of all, she saw that I had this coffee table book on my wish list, which was Drag, The Complete Story by Simon Doonan. I really like Simon Doonan as a culture commentator. He's very, like, kind of bitchy and funny. This is a history of drag, and you guys know, if you watch me, I'm an absolute sucker for anything related to drag. I find drag queens endlessly fascinating, very inspiring in terms of, like, makeup and, like, gender performativity and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to diving into the writing, because I know he starts, like, with ancient origins of drag, so not just today's, but drag in ancient Greece or whatever. So I'm excited to read more about this and also just look at all the beautiful pictures. Hello, Violet Chachki here on the front. So I got that. She also got me a different coffee table book, which was very on brand for me, which is Books Make a Home, Elegant Ideas for Storing and Displaying Books. So this is basically just an entire coffee table book of bookshelf porn. So very, very good pick for me. Love it. And then the last thing she got me was a little bit of a, she said it before I opened it. She was like, I know that this is not normally your thing, but a guy in her book club had like, it's his favorite, and he was insisting that I would like this. I'm gonna let you judge if you think that I would like this. So she's like, I got them from these bookstores. If you don't like them, it's not a big deal. It was very thoughtful. She was trying to expand my horizons. I'm just not sure that my horizons can be expanded this far. So it's a trio of books called the Druss series, and these covers are everything. This is high fantasy from the 90s, which just, I'm gonna guess, is probably not gonna be my thing, but this second cover is one of my favorite things that I've ever seen, because if that battle axe is not a metaphor for this guy's dick, I don't know what is. Like, it could, like, this is one of the most phallic covers I've ever seen, and it just makes me laugh. So I don't don't know if I'll ever read these. I'm trying to, like, part of me kind of wants to do a reading vlog of these, so you guys can let me know if you'd be interested in my thoughts about Druss, but definitely not really my taste, but thoughtful. I appreciate the thought of her trying to give me something that I wouldn't normally pick for myself, so I appreciate that. I don't know if I'll end up actually reading these, but we'll see. Whew. Okay, and last, but certainly not least, I have some entries into various collections that I have, and so we'll just dive on in. So the first one is, I found a hardcover version of All the President's Men, which I have been looking for a very long time, but had never been able to find one that I felt like was reasonably priced for a used book. But this was in the window of one of my local used bookstores, and I was shopping, doing some Christmas shopping for other things, and I saw it in the window and I ran in there, and it was only 10 bucks. So I'm very excited to finally have a nice physical copy of this. One of my, you guys have seen in my all-time favorite books video, this is one of my all-time favorite books. So very excited to have this. Then I picked up The Mysteries of Udolpho by Anne Radcliffe. You guys watch my 12 classics I want to read in 2020. This is on that list. I really do like this Oxford World Classics edition in paperback, and I couldn't find it in hardback, so I got it in that line, and I'm excited to dip into this one, hopefully in 2020. I also picked up another Daphne du Maurier book in this beautiful hardback line from Verrego Modern Classics. So this is Jamaica Inn, which I think is going to be my next Daphne du Maurier the next time I'm in the mood for something from her. I liked but didn't love Rebecca, but I think I'll have better luck with a different one of her books just because I've seen the movie of Rebecca before I read the book. So that one is on the docket. There were price drops on two different Everyman's Pocket, what is it? I always get confused. Everyman's Library Pocket Poets editions. You guys know I collect these as well. So there was the Christmas poem one, and look how cute that spine is with the mistletoe and the holly. I think that that's lovely. And then I got the Browning one, which has both Robert and Elizabeth Barrett's work. So I got both of those for that growing collection. Then I used some points to get the Everyman's Chesterton. Very annoyed with myself that I went and already had used wasted points, really. Getting the Father Brown stories in a different hardback edition that didn't really match the rest of what I have, and then also a hardback version of Orthodoxy, which was only okay when this was all collected into this book. I just didn't realize what all was in this version, this red-spined Everyman's Library, so now I have it all consolidated into one edition that I can just have and keep. So a new red-spined Everyman's Library in my collection, and then we reach the three most exciting things in the haul. I saved them for last. Two of these are my Christmas present to myself, beyond everything else that you saw me buy, whatever. Shh. One of these was a birthday present to myself that I pre-ordered back in June and has finally arrived. So my Christmas presents to myself were the two latest editions of the Agatha Christie HarperCollins UK special editions. Now I will tell you, I am mildly bummed that these don't look more like the original four that they released, but they are still absolutely beautiful. I particularly like this edition of And Then There Were None with the foiling, and just, it's beautiful. And then this is appropriately Hercule Poirot's Christmas that, you know, they released it around Christmas time, makes sense. So this was my present to myself, in addition to my Agatha Christie collection. And then back in June, I pre-ordered limited special edition signed copy with illustrations of Small Magics by Ilona Andrews. This is from Subterranean Press, and actually when I was showing this on Instagram, I was saying, oh, how weird that like it's the same number as the other special edition I have from Subterranean Press. What are the odds? And it turns out that they purposely do that. So like if you've ordered books in the past from that author, they will make sure it matches, which I think is a lovely touch. Like you saw it signed, and then it does have at least a couple of illustrations in here. So beautiful, unique artwork, and the pages are lovely. This is just such a treat. And Small Magics is a combined collection of all of their Kate Daniels short stories and novellas, and then it also has a couple of other short stories thrown in there as well. And it's a really good little collection, but most of all, I just am so excited that I have this cover art that I now get to have face out on my bookshelf with the rest of my Kate Daniels, because I just think she looks like such a badass here. I just love Kate Daniels so much, and I'm just absolutely thrilled to have this. This is definitely the highlight of all of these books, because this is just, it's special to me, and I really love it. So there you go. Guys, that was a long haul. Long haul. I feel like I've been filming for a very long time. Like I said, this was sort of a bigger one just because it was after Christmas. So, you know, that's just how it goes. But a lot of things in here that I'm very excited about and have specific plans for, so that's good. Definitely let me know if you got any exciting bookish related things for Christmas or for the holidays in general, or if you were like me and just taking advantage of the fact that other people celebrate this time of year, so there are price drops. Definitely feel free to let me know that below. I hope everyone had happy holidays, or if you don't celebrate the holidays, just a happy end of year, quieter time at work, etc. And yeah, I think that will do it for now. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias if you are so inclined. I have all of that information listed in the description box below, and I think that will do it. I hope you guys are having an absolutely lovely day, and I will just talk to you soon. Bye!